So looking at the standings, I realized that the Falcons are the only team right now that pretty much have to win out just to win their division. Now, I know there's the NFC West as well. They're like, one game behind the other, but with the way the Falcons are set up, they can't afford to lose another game. They have to win out and to basically win the division. There's no wild card situation for them. They have to win a division. So the playoffs basically start for the Falcons like right now. So if you want to win the rest of your games and win the Super Bowl, this is the only way to do it. There's no more room for error. There's no taking time off or letting players rest. You got to go full, throttle into the rest of this season when it comes to winning the next two games and hopefully winning the rest if you want to win a Super Bowl. How likely is that? To be quite honest, is not very likely. I mean, you can go on a very hot streak. You do have a rookie quarterback that only has one start. The defense is playing a little bit better. And, it looks like everything is pushing in the right direction to win games. But to win out, I mean, basically, you're going to have to go on, like right now, they're on the 2-game win streak. You basically have to win, like 5 more games, 6 more games, or something like that. So you have to basically go on a 7-game win streak, which I don't think the Falcons have done in a very long time. But can it be done? To be quite honest, yes, it can be done. But is it likely? Probably not. I mean, you still have, the chance to win out and win and host a playoff game, which, whatever the case may be, it may be against the Vikings, the Packers, it may be one of those games, which is, it does favor for us playing at home. But once you go on the road, you're gonna have to look at the teams like the Eagles or the Lions. Now you already beat the Eagles one time in what Lincoln Field. You went up there already and beaten them. Can it be done twice? I'm not sure. Let's be honest. Kirk Cousins was the reason why he won that game against the Eagles, and Saquon Barkley, as well as he's been playing, he did drop that pass, but it's still, Kirk Cousins did make that drive. Can Michael Penix do that? You're really asking a lot for a rookie to do something like that if he's put in that position. And to be quite honest, it will be a miracle that if it can happen. Now, I do have faith in my Falcons. I think they can win every game that they play. I think they can win every game that they play every single week, regardless of who's on the field, because once you're on the field, anything can happen. But with that being said, the likelihood of it happening is pretty slim. But, as long as the thing that has to happen, the defense just going to have to continue to play like they're playing. They've been doing great. The special teams have been doing great, even though you want to say it's against the Raiders and it's against it was against the Giants. Yeah, that's not the best opponents, but I do think this team that they're playing with playing against the Commanders is a pretty good litmus test on actually where you are. They're not an elite team. They're not a bad team. They're a 10-5 team that's kind of like middle of the road. So you're going to know if you play well against this team, you probably could play against anybody. If you play poorly against them, even if you win by playing poorly, you're going to have some issues going forward. Even though you're going to be playing the Panthers, which Bryce Young has been playing pretty well. So not to look too far ahead, but you literally gotta take this one game at a time at this point. It is one game at a time. These guys gonna have to go in and make the most of every possession. They're gonna have to make the most of every opportunity because there's no room for error at this point. I mean, you're gonna have another division winner with out of the Rams or the Seahawks, maybe even the Cardinals. They're creeping up. You got a situation where the Eagles look like they can win the division if they don't collapse again. They look like they're going to be division winners. And maybe there's like one more wild card position out there, which from the look of some things, it look like it's not. Like the Lions is going to sew it up. And, the Eagles are going to sew it up in their division as well. So they're going to be, probably 1 and 2. Then you got the Rams right there at number 3. And for us, it's just going to be number 4 because I think the Vikings and the Packers, they're basically, they have the wild card set up for those two games. For those two teams. So it looks like there's no room for error. There's no room for error. The Falcons going to have to win out to get in the playoffs. And if they get in the playoffs and host a playoff game, anything can happen, guys. Like all seriousness. I mean, it doesn't matter if the Vikings come up, the Packers come up. It really don't matter because it looks like it's going to be one of those teams that's going to be coming to Atlanta. And even though the Packers do look good, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're that much farther away from us when it comes to talent. When you look at the Vikings, yes, the Vikings look really good, and Kirk Cousins gave up like 3 or 4 interceptions against them. It was a close game until Kirk Cousins fell apart. So it's not that far fetched. People sitting there like, oh my God, this could be an issue that nothing can happen. I mean, you with the Falcons, then it's a possibility. Now, also, this is another scenario. The Lions aren't necessarily winning the division outright. It's a tie between the Lions and the Vikings. So it could be a possibility where the Lions could come down and play us in the division at home in the first round. It's a lot of scenarios here, and I know there's some people out there going to be like, well, if we play any of those 3 teams out of NFC North, we're done, and that's fine. I mean, I can't tell people how to feel and how to think. That's the way they feel about this team. Not much faith has gone the Falcons' way for a very long time. Ever since what happened, it's just been whatever with the Falcons, and I think things could change a little bit because we do have a new quarterback. Even though he's a rookie, all he has to do is not turn the ball over. He will be fine. Can he take us all the way there? That is highly unlikely, and I'm not going to say he can, but anything's possible. It's like, to be honest, anything is possible. A lot of people didn't believe in Brock Purdy like that. A lot of people didn't believe, in Jared Goff like that at one point, and I know these are guys that are veterans, but you just take it one game at a time and you find yourselves in position to win each game that's going forward. Before you know it, you may be playing, the Kansas City Chiefs again. And we saw how that ended out, so I don't know, man. It just it's a lot going on here. And I do feel like what's going on in the NFC is kind of crazy, but we also have to understand that you just have to play your game. You have to play ball the way you play it. And I do feel like if they play football like they did against the Giants, they're going to be a tough team to beat because this defense has been playing very well. Defense has been playing well for the past few weeks now. So if they can continue to get better on that, defense wins championships. You get a quarterback that don't turn the ball over, you got a shot. You got a shot. Once you get in, anything can happen. Once again, how likely is it? It's very unlikely, to be honest. I mean, you got some world beaters on the NFC side. I mean, you got 4 teams right now that are over 11 wins, and you have another team has at least 10 wins. The Rams could be a 10-win opponent. Anything can happen. So, but on the flip side of that, like I said, once you're in, anything goes. But we'll see. My at the end of the day, my personal thoughts, I think they can make a run, but it's extremely unlikely. I just don't see it happening. I do feel like the Falcons can win, every single game going forward. I honestly do. I feel like they can. But it's probably the win every game. I'm giving it about a 30, maybe 35% chance. But hey, once you're in, anything can happen. Anything can happen, especially when you play that first game at home. You just never know. But we'll see. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I am going to get up out of here. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully you guys had a great holiday. Cannot stress how much importance it is to have a really good holiday and fall back and chill with the family. All right, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here. I'll take it easy. I'm out. Peace.